Ladies and gentlemen, success has many faces, but its reflection shows up most clearly in how we earn, grow, and use our income. Not just money, but the meaning behind it. Today, I want to take you through a journey, 3 income levels of success. And through 7 key ideas, we'll understand how to climb from survival to stability, and from stability to significance. Every great journey starts at survival. This is the first income level, where we learn the raw fundamentals of life, how to make ends meet, how to work with discipline, and how to build consistency when there's barely anything to work with. It's the stage where you're not thinking about luxury or freedom, only about getting through the month, about having just enough to cover rent, groceries, and a few quiet moments of rest. There's humility in that place, because it strips away illusions and teaches you what effort truly means. It's in survival that a person learns the value of a single hour, a single dollar, and a single opportunity. At this stage, every small win matters. You begin to understand that success doesn't start with abundance, it starts with appreciation. When you have little, you learn to be resourceful. You learn to fix things instead of replacing them. You learn to plan instead of spending blindly. You learn that your habits determine your future, even when your wallet doesn't show it yet. It's not a time to complain about what you lack. It's a time to sharpen your tools, to strengthen your character, and to prepare for what's next. Because if you can't handle the weight of little responsibility, you won't handle the weight of more. Most people want to skip this level, but they forget that survival is the foundation of success. This is where your inner strength is built. This is where you discover the difference between wishing for success and working for it. It's where you learn that every paycheck, no matter how small, is not just money. It's proof that your effort matters. The discipline you build here becomes the seed for future prosperity. So if you're in survival mode today, don't despise it. Embrace it as your training ground. Every long climb begins with a single step, and this step is the one that teaches you resilience. Manage your small income with wisdom. Keep promises to yourself, no matter how simple they seem. Save a little, learn a lot, and never lose faith in the process. Because the lessons you master in survival will one day fund your freedom. Success doesn't arrive when the money grows. It begins when the person grows. The next level of income is comfort. It's the place where life starts to feel a little easier, where you can finally take a deep breath and say, I'm doing okay. You've moved past the struggle of survival. The bills are paid on time, there's a little savings in the bank, and maybe even a weekend getaway or a nice dinner now and then. It feels good. You've earned it. This is the reward for discipline, for staying committed through the hard days. But here lies the hidden trap. Comfort is pleasant, but it can quietly become the greatest obstacle to your growth. Comfort can lull you into thinking you've arrived when in truth you've only begun. It gives you the illusion of success while keeping you from reaching your true potential. Many people stay in this zone for years, sometimes for life, because it feels safe. There's no urgency anymore. You're no longer desperate to survive, but you're also not inspired to thrive. You start to choose ease over excellence, familiarity over growth. The fire that once pushed you forward begins to cool, and slowly, ambition gives way to routine. But life doesn't reward those who settle. It rewards those who continue to stretch, to evolve, to chase a higher version of themselves. Comfort should be a pause, not a destination. It's a season to regroup, not to retire. If you stay too long in the land of comfort, it becomes the land of complacency, and complacency is the silent enemy of success. You can't let the taste of comfort make you forget the hunger that got you here. This stage should be used wisely. It's a time to invest, not just money, but time in learning. You finally have enough stability to take calculated risks, to learn a new skill, to build something on the side, to create another source of value. Comfort gives you resources. The question is whether you'll use them to expand or to relax. The difference between those who rise to the next level and those who fade away lies in how they treat this phase. The average person spends comfort on pleasure. The wise person invests comfort into progress. You see, comfort is meant to be enjoyed, but not worshipped. It's proof that your effort has worked, but it's also a test to see if you'll continue the journey. Don't let your achievements make you forget your potential. Keep learning, keep saving, keep dreaming. When you start to feel too comfortable, remind yourself that life still has more to give, but only if you have more to give to life. So don't stop here. Use your comfort as a stepping stone, not a sofa. Let it be the place where you gather strength for the climb ahead, not the place where you fall asleep, because success never stays still. It either grows or it fades, and if you choose growth, comfort will become not your limit, but your launchpad to freedom. The third level of income is freedom, the level where you no longer work just to live, but live to create, to give, and to build a life on your own terms. This is where money stops being the master and becomes the servant. It's no longer about paying bills or chasing comfort. It's about choice, control, and contribution. Freedom income means you wake up in the morning because you want to, not because you have to. You decide how your time is spent, what projects you pursue, who you work with, and where your energy flows. It's not about having millions in the bank. It's about having peace in your mind. Reaching this level takes more than talent. It takes transformation. To arrive here, you must learn discipline at the level of survival, wisdom at the level of comfort, and vision at the level of freedom. It's not an overnight process, it's a gradual rise. Freedom is the fruit of patience, planning, and persistence. It comes when you build systems that work without you, when your investments produce income, when your ideas generate value even while you rest. That's when you realize that freedom isn't just earned. It's designed. You built it step by step through wise choices and consistent habits. But freedom is more than financial independence. It's emotional and spiritual clarity. It's the ability to say no to what doesn't align with your values and yes to what fulfills your purpose. It's the stage where you stop asking, how much can I earn? And start asking, how much can I contribute? Wait. You understand that wealth without meaning is just numbers, but wealth with purpose is legacy. You no longer measure success by the size of your paycheck, but by the size of your impact. Freedom allows you to invest in what truly matters: relationships, learning, creativity, and contribution. You have the time to think deeply, to mentor others, to build something that outlives you. You can give freely, not out of obligation, but out of abundance. You see, at this stage, giving becomes a joy, not a burden, because you've mastered the art of creating more than you consume. And that's the highest skill of all, creating value so great that it continues to grow, even when you're not around. Many people dream of this level, but few reach it because they stop climbing too early. Freedom doesn't arrive by accident. It's the result of years of conscious effort, saving when others spend, learning when others relax, and building when others complain. It's earned by those who kept going when it was difficult, who built systems instead of excuses, and who believed that they could shape their own destiny. And once you taste true freedom, you realize it was never just about the money. It was about time. Time to live intentionally, to pursue your dreams without restraint, to wake up each day knowing you're in control of your life. Freedom is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a new one. The journey of giving back, of lifting others, of living a life that matters. Because the highest purpose of freedom is not to escape responsibility, but expand it. So when you reach the level of freedom, don't use it to hide from the world. Use it to change the world. Use it to teach, to inspire, to build. Let your life become an example of what happens when discipline meets purpose. Because the greatest reward of freedom is not wealth, it's worth. And when your income serves your vision, when your money supports your mission, that's when you've truly succeeded. Before you can earn more, you must become more. That is the timeless rule that governs every level of success. Income does not rise because of luck or chance. It rises in direct proportion to your value. The marketplace doesn't pay you for your needs or your wishes. It pays you for the value you bring. You can cry, complain, or compare, but the truth remains. If you want to earn more, you have to offer more. More skill, more knowledge, more service, more excellence. Your paycheck is not a reflection of what you want. It's a reflection of what you're worth to others. And worth can always be increased through learning and growth. Think of the world as one vast exchange of value. Every time you solve a problem, meet a need, or make someone's life easier, you increase your worth. The farmer who grows food, the teacher who shapes minds, the engineer who designs bridges, each of them gets paid in proportion to the quality and scale of the problems they solve. That's the secret most people overlook. They spend years trying to earn more without ever asking, am I becoming someone who deserves more? It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter, thinking deeper, and serving better. If you want the marketplace to pay you differently, you must show up differently. Learn the skills others avoid. Develop the discipline others lack. Deliver the kind of results others can't. Be the person who brings clarity where there's confusion, solutions where there's struggle, and hope where there's hesitation. The world rewards those who elevate its standards. It's not enough to do your job. You have to master your craft. Study it, refine it, reinvent it. Because when you become exceptional, opportunities chase you instead of you chasing them. Growth, however, requires humility. It means admitting that you don't know enough yet. It means being teachable, curious, and hungry. Some people stop learning the day they leave school, but that's the day their real education was supposed to begin. Read books that challenge you. Listen to people who've gone further than you. Invest in training, mentorship, and experiences that stretch your thinking. The greatest investment you'll ever make isn't in stocks or property. It's in yourself. And as you grow, so will your influence. People will notice the change. You'll start attracting better opportunities, better clients, better results. Not because the world suddenly became easier, but because you became stronger. You see, money is not the goal. It's a mirror. It reflects your creativity, your consistency, your character. When you raise your standards, the world adjusts its rewards to match them. But remember this, becoming more valuable is not about chasing perfection. It's about chasing progress. You don't need to know everything. Just keep improving what you already know. Each new skill, each new insight, each small improvement compounds over time until one day, you realize that you've outgrown your old limitations. That's when income rises almost naturally. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. So don't wait for a miracle or a promotion. Don't wait for someone to hand you a better opportunity. Create one. The law of value before income is simple but profound. Make yourself indispensable. Be the person people can count on, the one who always adds more than expected, and soon enough your rewards will begin to match your worth. Because the path to wealth is not paved with luck, it's paved with personal growth. When you become more valuable to the world becomes more generous to you. One income is good, but it's never safe. Relying on a single source of money is like standing on one leg. It works for a while, but it's never stable. The moment that one leg weakens, the entire balance is lost. The wise understand that success loves variety. Just as a tree with many roots can survive any storm, a person with multiple streams of income can weather any financial challenge. It's not about greed or chasing money from every corner. It's about security, freedom, and growth. Because when you have more than one way to earn, you give yourself more than one chance to win. Creating multiple streams of income begins with a mindset shift. You have to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a builder. An employee earns through effort. A builder earns through systems. Your goal should be to create streams that continue to flow even when you take a break. That could be investments, digital assets, a small business, or creative work that pays you long after it's created. Every new stream is a new seed, and if you plant enough of them, some will grow into mighty trees that bear fruit for years. But multiple streams don't start big. They start small. A skill turned into a service, a hobby turned into a side project, an idea turned into a product. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for the perfect time or the perfect idea. There isn't one. Start with what you know, what you love, and what others value. Learn as you go. What matters most is momentum. Because once you take the first step, opportunities have a way of revealing themselves. Diversification isn't just financial. It's personal. When you explore different avenues, you expand your mind, your network, and your confidence. You begin to see that the world is full of ways to create value. The more ways you serve, the more ways you earn. And the more you earn from serving, the more stable your foundation becomes. You're no longer at the mercy of one paycheck or one employer. You become the designer of your income, not the victim of circumstance. And here's a truth many overlook. Multiple streams aren't just for the wealthy. They're how people become wealthy. You don't need millions to start. You need creativity, consistency, and courage. Even an extra stream that brings a small income can ease stress, open doors, and spark new ideas. Over time, those small streams can grow and combine into something powerful, a river of opportunity that keeps flowing long after your daily efforts end. The ultimate goal is to have your money working while you rest. That's when you know you've crossed the line from survival to stability, from stability to freedom. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that even if you stop working for a week, a month, or a year, your income still flows. That's not a dream, that's a strategy. The strong don't depend on luck, they build systems that support their dreams. But remember, the purpose of building multiple streams is not just to have more money, it's to have more options. When you have options, you gain control. You can take risks, pursue passions, and give generously without fear of running out. Each income stream represents a piece of your independence. Together, they create not just financial wealth, but peace of mind. So start today, not someday. Learn, invest, build, and create. Even the smallest stream can grow into a river if you keep nurturing it. The key is to move from working for money to making money work for you. Because those who master the art of creating multiple streams don't just survive the changes of the world, they shape them. Income grows when you do. That's one of life's simplest truths, yet it's often forgotten. People spend years chasing higher pay, new jobs, or better opportunities, but few realize that lasting income doesn't come from outside circumstances. It comes from inner transformation. A poor mindset cannot handle a rich life. You can hand someone a fortune, but if their thinking is small, that fortune will disappear just as quickly as it arrived. Success starts in the mind long before it appears in the bank account. Every level of income demands a new level of thinking. The thoughts that helped you survive cannot take you to comfort, and the thinking that keeps you comfortable cannot carry you to freedom. Growth is a continuous process of renewal, of stretching what you believe is possible. You must keep expanding your capacity to dream, decide, and act. The person who earns a little and the person who earns a lot may live in the same world, but they do not live in the same mindset. One sees limits. The other sees leverage. One sees problems, the other sees possibilities. You can't pour $1 million dream into a $10 mind. If you do, the mind will shrink the dream down to what feels safe. That's why personal growth is not a luxury, it's a necessity. You have to condition your thinking for success, to train it the way an athlete trains their body. Read daily, reflect often. Surround yourself with people who think bigger, talk smarter, and expect more. Challenge your beliefs. Because whatever you believe about money, success, or potential will quietly shape your entire future. Growth is uncomfortable. It forces you to let go of old habits, old excuses, and sometimes even old friends. But discomfort is the birthplace of progress. The same way a seed must break its shell to grow, you must break your patterns to rise. Every time you step beyond what's familiar, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more. And once your belief expands, your actions follow, and so do your results. You start noticing opportunities that were invisible before. You start attracting people and ideas that align with your vision. Suddenly, what once seemed impossible begins to look inevitable. Your income is always trying to catch up to your personal development. The reason growth feels slow is because your results are waiting for you to grow into the person who can handle them. If you receive more before you're ready, you'll lose it. But when your mindset matures, you become magnetic to ideas, to people, to prosperity. That's why the best investment you'll ever make isn't in the market, but in yourself. Every book, every course, every experience that challenges your limits compounds like interest. It pays you for the rest of your life. And remember, growth never stops. The moment you think you've learned enough, you start to decline. Complacency is the silent thief of success. Keep stretching, keep improving, keep refining your character. Because the world changes fast, and those who refuse to grow are left behind by those who do. The leaders of tomorrow are not the ones who know the most today. They're the ones who keep learning when others get comfortable. So, if you want to earn more, stop asking for raises and start raising your standards. Upgrade your habits, your discipline, your thinking. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Expand your knowledge until the world can no longer ignore your value. Because income is not just a number, it's a reflection of who you've become. Grow the person, and the income will follow naturally, consistently, and abundantly. The ultimate test of income is not how much you keep, but how much you create for others. True wealth begins when you move beyond personal comfort and start thinking in terms of contribution. The highest success is not counted in numbers, it's measured in the difference you make. Many people chase money all their lives, only to discover that what they truly wanted was meaning. There comes a point where more cars, more clothes, and more possessions don't add up to more fulfillment. At that moment, the heart begins to ask a deeper question. What am I doing that will like me? That question marks the beginning of legacy. When your income grows, your responsibility grows with it. The purpose of wealth is not just to make life easier for you, but to make life better for others. Eka said, the more you earn, the more good you can do. You can support education, feed families, build communities, or create opportunities that change someone's story forever. When your resources are used for something greater than yourself, they begin to multiply in ways money alone never could. That's the beauty of significance. It transforms earnings into impact. Legacy is not about having your name engraved on a building. It's about having your influence engraved on people's hearts. It's about creating something that continues to give long after you're gone. Maybe it's a business that provides jobs, a school that educates children, or even a message that inspires others to rise higher. Legacy isn't built in one grand moment. It's built in small acts of generosity, consistency, and purpose over time. Every kind word, every lesson shared, every contribution made, they all become the bricks in the house of legacy. You see, wealth without wisdom is fragile. Many have gained fortunes only to lose them because they never understood the true purpose of having more. Money is a tool, not a trophy. Its value depends on how you use it. When you use money to buy things, it vanishes. When you use it to build people, it multiplies. The greatest investors in history are not those who only built empires of wealth, but those who built empires of influence. People who understood that the measure of success is not what you take, but what you leave behind. As you grow in success, keep your heart humble and your hands open. Remember the days when you started at the bottom, when every dollar had meaning. Let that memory guide your generosity. Give not for recognition, but for gratitude, because everything you have was once something you hoped for. The act of giving is not losing, it's sowing, and every seed of kindness you plant returns in ways you can't measure, in joy, in peace, in fulfillment. Legacy also means mentorship. Share what you know. Lift others who are just beginning their journey. Help someone find their first opportunity, just as someone once helped you. Success becomes more powerful when it's shared. The world doesn't just need wealthy people, it needs wise ones. People who know that wealth is only meaningful when it builds others, not just themselves. So, as you rise through the levels of income, from survival to comfort to freedom, never forget the final step, significance. This is where your life stops being about success and starts being about service. When you use your resources, your wisdom, and your time to improve the lives of others, you experience a kind of wealth that no economy can measure and no loss can erase. Because in the end, no one remembers the size of your bank account. They remember the size of your heart. They remember what you built, what you gave, and how you made them feel. And that is the true measure of success. When your life becomes a blessing to others, when your legacy outlives your lifetime, you've reached the highest income level of all. Not financial wealth, but human worth. So, remember, the 3 income levels are not just financial stages, they are stages of personal evolution. Survival teaches discipline, comfort tests desire, freedom reveals destiny, and through it all your income is merely the echo of your growth. If you want to change what you earn, change who you are. That's how you rise, not just in income, but in life itself.